Previously on The Big Break. The guys battled the elements as the competition took a turn.
The strategies, I think it's gonna be changing. I think we're gonna have to start hitting better golf shots.
The skills challenge was an unexpected surprise.
Guess what? We're playing golf.
Wow. Well, here we go. This is fun. This is real fun.
Randy won the mulligan with a clutch birdie.
Oh, what a four.
Nice putt.
Tell you what, the guy can play.
The elimination challenge spelled trouble for the guys.
Go, go!
Mark and Craig went down to the wire in a sudden death playoff.
If it was the roles were reversed, I don't think I could have performed like those two.
Mark was eliminated.
In case the police are ever looking for me.
Randy, Craig, Justin, and Anthony are the final four. One of them is on his way to 4 Canadian Tour exemptions and the chance of a lifetime. The Big Break.
Here we go again. It's just gonna be another one of those absolute mental challenges.
I hate playing in the rain in Texas. You know, if it's raining, you know, there's gonna be another beautiful day, so we're skipping that day.
Hey guys, come on, hurry up. We gotta get rolling.
It's all right. I'm from Michigan. I've played a lot of golf in weather like this. It kind of makes me feel like I have a little bit of an advantage.
As long as you say ahead of time, all right, it's gonna be nasty. It's out of my control, there's nothing I can do about it. Prepared for the worst, you know? That's the only way to handle it. And the guys who don't do that are the guys that are gonna drop off the leaderboard.
We really didn't want to hit balls in the rain.
Good morning.
You know, so it was like we were gonna do the first challenge without even hitting it, you know, maybe just a couple balls and that was it. Because, I mean, it was just, you couldn't hit any balls, you're just getting soaked.
I'd like you to put the card on top of the deck, cut the deck once.
We were just sitting around talking, you know, just doing whatever we could to waste some time. And I did a couple card tricks. You know, you guys enjoyed that.
Yeah. Just in case he doesn't make it on tour, he's got the skills to be a dealer in Vegas, I'm sure.
I think everyone was bored out of their minds for a while.
I played a little tune called Hot Cross Buns.
We all did little different things, but pretty much just try and relax, stay loose, not think about anything too much, and get ready when we're called.
Come on over, guys.
Hey guys.
A little bit more intense weather. You're laughing, which is good. And we talked about attitude, you know, in the rain, and obviously, right now, it really doesn't matter. You guys have, there's 4 of you left. You're the final 4. Congratulations, you've made it this far.
One step closer.
Somebody's going home. And one quick question in terms of attitude, where you are right now. You know you got more work to do. What are you thinking, Justin?
You know, we were talking about this a little bit on the bus, and it's, you know, now that it's down to 4, I was saying there's a little less strategy involved because, you know, when there's 7 or 8 guys, you know, a couple of guys may screw up and you play a little safer. These 4 guys, I don't think you're going to have the opportunity. If you miss one shot, I think it could be the difference of being eliminated. So we know we got to hit quality golf shots.
The first thing we're going to be doing, obviously, is the skills challenge. Now, I'm going to give you a tease, and I'm going to say just a few words. Oak Hill, Valderrama, Oakland Hills. That's the tease. So here we go. You guys ready to go? Let's go to work. We have, guys, some conditions today. This is British Open.
Yeah, preparation for the British Open. Perfect timing, right?
You want to play in a British Open?
You'll be prepared.
This is what you're going to deal with.
Okay, guys, here we are. Skills challenge. You're the final four. Obviously, we're playing for these incredible Canadian Tour exemptions. How are you feeling, Anthony? What would that mean to you to make the Canadian Tour?
It's free golf for me. You know, it's awesome, and it helps get sponsors. You get some sponsors on board, so it's huge. That's why we're here. The gifts are great, but the exemptions are what we're here for. So
yeah, and you're here to make it, and here we are.
I think we all are.
Hey, there's Rick.
Oh, don't even.
Oh, don't even.
What? Come on. What's he driving up in that very nice?
Hi, guys.
Hey, Rick.
Hey, Rick.
How you doing, Rick?
Just a little shortcut there. You know, you guys were driving in carts, but I want to tell you something. You've been chatting with these guys?
Yeah, we're talking a little bit about the Canadian Tour exemptions and what they're doing here, and
Well, let me just tell you something. And obviously you're smiling. On behalf of the Ford Motor Company, the Ford family understands how difficult it is to survive and make a car payment for a couple years when you're trying to make it on the Canadian Tour or wherever you're going. And so for 2 years, these keys are going to go to the winner of the competition, along with the Canadian Tour exemption.
Wow.
It's an Eddie Bauer Ford Explorer. It's beautiful. I almost kept driving it, but I thought I'd stop.
And I was shocked because none of us would even expect that or had no idea. A beautiful car that just raises the bar. You know, the pot is sweetened.
I believe we're going to discuss now what we're dealing with the skills challenge.
yeah, share with us what's happening.
When I gave you that little tip of Oak Hill, Laurel Valley, I gave you Oakland Hills. I talked about some Ryder Cup mini format. In a way, what we're going to be doing is drawing for teams. We're going to first get the captains, and then the captains are going to pick their partners.
In the skills challenge, the teams will play 3 holes in different formats. The first hole will be alternate shot, the second, best ball, and the third hole will be a cumulative team score. Each hole will be worth 1 point, and the team that wins 2 points wins the challenge.
The good news is this: the winning team is exempt from elimination.
Yes. So you can
Now-
relax.
Now here's the other
What do they
thing.
call that?
The player on the losing team that has the lowest score for the last 2 holes is going to win the mulligan for the elimination series. Now, I'm sure you want to be on the winning team, so you can just sit and watch.
Each player of the winning team will also win a collection of eMcGrath clothing and a Sony digital camera.
Wow, cool.
Okay, let's now select for the captains. Okay, Marv. Number 1, number 2. Let's go ahead and have Anthony pick his partner.
I'm taking Justin. I kind of just the whole time have thought me and Justin were probably the 2 best players there.
I was surprised he made the decision so quick. You know, I think it was pretty. If you look at the stats, you know, with how well Randy's done, it's hard not to pick him.
Randy's solid, but he might not be quite as hungry.
Craig, you got a pretty strong horse too.
I think I do. I was going to pick Randy. So that's how it was going to play out if I had chosen first anyway. Because I was thinking, okay, I can pick to get who I thought was going to be the best complement to me in terms of playing as a team and try and win the challenge, or do I pick the safety and pick the guy who, if we lose, I want to play against in the elimination challenge? And I said, you know what, screw that. That's playing defensive, play offensive, and pick the better player who you think will complement you. And I was going to pick Randy.
You want me to hit the drive, and you think you got a good second shot? I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I can cut the corner.
Well,
I think this would be an easier shot for you.
Okay. I was saying I wanted to kind of hit the iron shot. You're a great driver of the golf ball. Go ahead and put it down there. And he's like, no, just hit the tee shot, hit the tee shot. Start it right at the left edge of that, the bunker on the right.
let it drift back into the fairway.
You just do what you need to do, brother.
That's
I don't,
where
yeah, you just
where I
do
see
what
it.
you need to do.
We have, guys, some conditions today. This is British Open.
Preparation for the British Open, perfect timing, right?
You want to play in a British Open?
You'll be prepared.
This is what you're going to deal with.
And I turned the club over, hit a pretty good one down there, just behind the bunker in the rough.
So we're short of the bunker. Okay, good shot.
Good shot.
You know what? I'll take it.
Wind's blowing left. Just gonna send it up the right side. Try to bust it. Need a birdie here. Wind was howling. The hole's only 360. Craig hit it right, and it stayed short of the bunker.
This can be a drivable par 4 at times if the wind's right, but today it's blowing 30 right into their face and it's raining sideways.
Good swing.
Good swing, Anthony.
And then I hit a good one. I mean, the thing went like 240. It's so windy and just cold.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Perfect tee ball.
About 115 in the hole. I mean, I think I got to play it. It's a little downhill.
What is it, 112 -5? Punch a pitcher went in there?
Guys, the water everywhere, huh?
But I still think it's going to, I think it's soft enough where it's going to hold it.
Craig has given Randy a situation that the ball is going to be sitting above his feet. If he's going to aim it a little bit to the right to offset the lie, that could throw him off a little bit. Here's the shot going off to the right. Oh, and it hit the tree. Now watch this kicking though. Wow. Well, he got a good break because the ball could have kicked into the back into the tree. So he's on the first tier, which is going to leave a very difficult putt for his partner. That's a good 40 feet.
Hey, partner, you got it? You want help or you got it?
I'm just worried about the spin.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna hit?
I got my U-edge, it goes about 125. We were talking about club selection, and I was right in between what club I want to hit. A lot of times in the wind, when I hit these little punch shots, they just go right through the wind. Like, I don't want to go past that pin. That's the only thing I'm worried about. And I went with the longer club and tried to hit it easy, and I guess took a pretty big bounce.
This is a good-looking shot if it stops.
Sit, 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 sit. Oh, went over the hill. Just trickled over the hill.
If that goes, it's gone. He's in deep trouble there.
God damn it, dude, I got a bad bounce. You hit this, how many times do you hit putts like this?
Yeah.
On the first hole of the skills challenge, both teams have reached the green in 2. This hole is alternate shot. Anthony and Craig are now prepared to putt for their team.
You've hit this, how many times do you hit putts like this? A million. Just another one, no big deal.
In my mind, speed is the issue. I mean, it's all distance. It has the directional elements not near as critical as the speed that he hits his putt.
Good putt, Anthony.
That thing was straight uphill. But we're looking at a 4, so.
This putt is very quick. If he gets it started high enough, it'll obviously pick up speed coming down the hill.
As wet as it is, though, this is pretty quick putt.
Yeah. It's a lot easier than the one you just had, though.
Oh, I would rather have that.
It's like an 8-foot rise, 10-foot rise up that hill.
Tried to be as aggressive as I could, but if I missed, leave Randy a nice straight putt up, nothing downhill, side hill. And I kind of got the job done.
Test it. Their way.
Yeah, the more I look at it from back here, the further that side.
Inside right?
Yeah. You see the other cup?
Yeah. That's way too outside.
I don't think this putt's going to break a lot. They're talking about which edge to hit, and they disagreed, I think, on the line initially, and then, a player can help him, but everybody sees a putt sometimes a little differently.
No, but I'm saying just the
left edge?
The edge of it, your ball on the edge of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Your ball on the edge of it is a great line. Not getting a kick.
Nice
Right
putt.
in the jar. Just nothing unusual. We're used to seeing it.
Good putt.
Money.
good pressure player, you know?
Dude, this putter feels like it weighs like a feather. So nervous. I mean, there's no weight to it now.
That was a great putt. Did he drop dead center?
No, it eased in there. I kind of bunted it, man.
But hey, it's in. Doesn't matter.
Little curler, left edge.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it inside left, I think.
Yeah, inside left.
Yeah.
The thing about Justin's stroke, Justin gets a little jabby with his stroke. And he's got to work on that. That's the only weakness that I've seen.
Come on, baby, warm up.
I felt terrible that I missed that putt. I mean, it was just a little probably 3-footer. And they just hit it too hard, just slammed it through. Their hands were a little cold.
Randy and Craig, congratulations. Strategy worked off the tee. Randy, it looked like the shot that you hit was just pushed a hair, and it came down and obviously rolled to the first part of the tier. One thing that's interesting, first in, you put the heat back on Justin. You probably thought he was going to make it. Making that putt really made it hard for them to make it. Now, you get 1 point. If you'd have tied, you'd have gotten half a point apiece. You're 1 point up. Let's go to the next hole for the next challenge, which is best ball for another point.
Par 5. Haven't seen the hole yet, but it looks pretty brutal in this weather.
Let me get you one out there. You know what I mean?
You can play it however, yeah. That'd be fine.
If you feel like you're gonna take a real rip,
no, that'd be great.
Take a rip. That's what I was trying to say to you about.
Okay.
Today you're playing a par 5, just over 500 yards, the way it's playing today with a wind behind your back. Remember one thing, finish your shots, all players, because this is part of the aggregate to the losing team for that mulligan, okay? Even though in the team competition, it counts one, just one best ball, okay? Good luck.
I hit my drive right where I was looking. I thought the wind was going to help me blow back into the fairway, and sure as anything, it goes dead straight right into the bunker where I was looking.
I can hit driver and bust it, right? But my shot's not a right to left, it's just straight. Aim it at the guy up in there and then hit it, or do I hit 3-wood? And let's try to make 4 or 5.
I think you're aiming at the guy up there. You've been swinging the driver well.
Okay.
Randy's gonna obviously hit the bomb off the tee. But he's blocked it also towards the bunker. I haven't seen Randy hit a crooked shot yet, but I think Randy's at 20 yards by Craig, probably.
Man, that wind, I thought the wind would hit it and kick it left. It just stayed right there.
Get in the fairway. I can play aggressive. I think we hit the same distance, but I'm good at hitting high. I want to throw it up there right and try to turn it over and get it way up there.
Yeah, definitely.
Turn over.
Hang on.
Oh, the wind's going that way. Whoops.
Not me.
Stay right there. That wind going right or something?
The wind would hit.
The wind's going this way. I think it's going that way. I think it feels swirling here.
I had the luxury of hitting last. Everyone hit it right. I thought wind was blowing left. The whole time it was a perfect wind to hit it, to bust one. Pretty good.
Turn.
Great tee ball.
There. Fairway.
Good ball.
Great tee ball.
Good ball, Ant.
Good ball. Okay, you got 230.
Yeah, unless you see an aggressive play here that I'm not seeing. I'm just thinking 8-9. But we're thinking, hey, at least get a half here. All we got to do is make a 5, maybe a 4, and put the pressure on them. Do it, man.
Randy and Craig captured the first point in the skills challenge with a victory in the alternate shot format. The second hole is best ball, and after hitting their drives, Craig is first to play from a fairway bunker.
Okay, you got 230.
Yeah, unless you see an aggressive play here that I'm not seeing. I'm just thinking 8-9. But we're thinking, hey, at least get a half here. All we got to do is make a 5, maybe a 4, and put the pressure on them. Do it, man.
Craig can't really reach, he knows it. The smart play for Craig is to lay up and have 100 yards in. Oops. He really caught it thin. Really caught it thin. Hit the lip, and now he's got you know, 220 in. All right, philosophy's totally changed now. Faced with, you know, 220 yards with a long iron out of wet rough, that's not a good combination.
No, it's not.
Oh. Pretty good kick.
That should kick off to the right.
Get out of that stuff.
Well, not a bad angle in. Now he's got to rely on Randy.
And this a peach.
Justin has a side hill lie. The ball's really going to come left, but he's got to keep his balance. It's really wet. This is hard to stabilize your lower body on a hill like that. It's really important. Pretty aggressive play, going to the right side. He looks above the bunkers in the rough.
How does that not hook off that lie?
He really was hoping that was going to come more left off the lie.
That could be nasty.
Where's my partner? Josh, come here.
Anthony calling in for a little team spirit here.
It's a little uphill. I'd go with the longer club.
Go with the long one, just get it up.
The 2 iron, yeah, and play it just right in the bunker.
That's what I'm doing.
Perfect. And just be aggressive.
Now here's a hard shot, and I'll tell you why. Ball's above his feet, but it's a downhill lie, and it's hard to hit a long iron up in the air when you get in this situation. That's exactly what you would expect off that lie. Now, it turns out to be a good layup, well short of the green, but again, you can see the trajectory came off low. That's what you're going to do off that lie.
I knew I was going to catch it heavy.
Yeah, it's a tough shot. The deuce.
You know, again, it's up to Randy. He's going for it. See, another difficult situation. I mean, he hit way behind it, but again, that lie is conducive to that.
Jeez. Woo. That was too rough. Side hill.
Mishit it in a good spot. He's looking about 95 yards to the hole. Anything a little left of the hole will feed back to the hole. He'd love to make birdie here and close the door on these guys. It's definitely left of the hole. I could get a really good kick there and
That
feed
just
right
got a
to
great
it.
bounce. Look at that.
He played the bank. He played the hole correctly.
Great shot, partner. Great shot.
Now Justin is in the rough, downhill lie, really a poor angle, but if he uses the bank left of the flag to kind of feed the ball off of, I think that's what he's thinking about. Good looking wedge here. No, but sucks back. No, it stayed right there. Good shot, though.
Oh, a little long. Wow. That's going to be perfect. All right, putt at it.
You got this one.
Yeah.
I mean, look where I hit. I hit 2 more feet, dude. I'm right next to the hole.
Perfect, I know. But hey, either way, you're in great shape. You're in great shape.
One of the things that I know Randy wants him to do, he wants him to make 5. If he gets it up and down, it gives Randy a free run at it, and that's what he wants.
Help me out. Help me out. It's a tough lie.
Casual.
They're looking at some casual water with Anthony, looking for relief, which he's entitled to relief if he has standing water.
No water coming up around your shoes? Here's where my golf ball is. I mean, it's the ball and you're hitting me. Look where, all right.
Water has to accumulate.
Okay.
No, it isn't.
They've deemed Anthony to have casual water. He's trying to find his relief.
This is all dry. Dry. Dry.
It's closest relief, so he can't just decide to go 20 feet over left of the ball.
I think I might just play it.
It's up to you. I mean, it's just really wet. I think I just saw it from right here where it's dry.
Water, we can, I give him the option.
Play it.
Yeah, you definitely have the option.
Yeah.
Whatever you feel comfortable with, buddy. I trust you. He's playing it off the wet stuff here. He likes the angle better.
Fight. Fight.
That ball stayed up. It stayed long. Did not come back. He's going to have a tricky putt coming down the hill. Now, Craig is out of the hole, basically. He has to make this for 5.
Go in. Good try.
Stop there. Stop.
Oh, who's away, Mark? Me? Okay.
It's a good shot. It just took 2 big hops. It's kind of skipped.
So wet.
Skipped on the water.
I would say 6-8 inches. That's what I'm thinking. But
Okay.
you make your putt. Do it, bud.
Again, it's up to Randy. Randy knows Craig is out of the hole.
So he's got to save the team here.
Well, he does.
Get there. Get there. Get there. Come on. That's a pretty good line. Pretty good line, Randy.
All right, buddy, let's knock one of the babies in.
Let's go.
It's time.
Between Anthony and Justin, they know one of them has to make it. And if they don't, they're not looking good.
I had about, I don't know what it was, a 20-footer for birdie.
Let's go, Justin. Come on, baby.
Let's make up for that other one. And I'm standing over it, and I said, all right, let's make up for that short miss. You put a good stroke on this one, drain this one, we'll be right back in it.
Justin coming down the hill now, he makes, and they go to the last hole tied up.
We've been talking all week about, gut checks and what really defines a golfer is coming through. And he drained that putt, and I was thrilled. That's the least I can say about that. That's why you're in Golden Bear, and I landscape.
And it looks like right now, we're going to the last hole tied.
Justin's birdie on the second hole tied up the team competition. The guys finished out the hole, and the race for the mulligan is beginning to take shape. The player from the losing team with the lowest stroke total for the final 2 holes will win the mulligan for the elimination challenge.
Here we are at Royal Troon. And it's even nasty weather for Europe.
Uh-oh.
The team split the first 2 holes of the skills challenge, with each team earning a point. The final hole will be aggregate shot, and the winning team will advance to the next show.
As we come to the last hole, it's a par 3, and it's measuring today 220 to the pin. It's raining. It's obviously the wind's coming back in your face, and time to hit it, guys.
Did you hit first last time?
Yeah, on that drive.
I'll go.
Too, I'll go.
The guys are all hitting long irons, 2 and 3 irons.
Beat a stick.
See the number.
Oh, yeah.
What a
Get
golf
tight.
shot. I'll tell you what, that's the best long iron of his life right there.
I hit it pure. Bottom line, I just hit a great shot. Here we are at Royal Troon. And it's even nasty weather for Europe.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that was ugly.
Well, he was very fortunate, let me tell you. He hit a quick hook off the tee. It looked like it's going into trees.
That was like crap. I made a 3-iron like that in a year.
Ruff grabbed it, and it saved him.
You feel easy, comfortable hitting it first?
Didn't really matter to me. If you had a preference, it's fine.
Craig and Randy are saying, hey, we were looking bad. Now we're still looking okay because Justin, if he makes 4, and let's say Anthony misses his putt, that's a bogey and a par. Like I said, 2 pars are golden in my mind.
Sorry, I tried to punch it back there and back to that corner.
They don't realize how great of an iron that Anthony hit to even get it over that bunker. That's how long this hole is playing.
That's great.
God, too fat, too chubby, too short.
It's good work, bud.
Couldn't have left yourself in any better spot than that putt right there, buddy.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can chip mine up there close.
Yeah, let's just do this.
Sit.
Craig needs to make 3. If Craig doesn't pitch this up, they're in deep trouble. They're going to be forced to make long putts. And they're not looking as good right now. One of the guys is going to have to make a putt between Craig and Randy. One of them has to make 3. Justin knows if he gets it up and down and makes 3, it's over. And Justin and Anthony get the bye for the elimination, and they get to sit and watch the other 2.
And I hit a really good pitch shot. I thought it was perfect, but just got away from me a little bit.
It actually jumped out of there. He's got about 5.5, 6 feet. This is a testy putt.
Looks like it's gotta go left.
Yeah, I'm seeing it just outside the right edge.
Just outside right?
Yeah, maybe a ball or something like that. As it slows down, I think it's gonna fall a little bit. You like that?
Yep.
Good. Put a good stroke on it.
Definitely moved to his left a little bit. 3's looking pretty good.
Try and roll it, Craig. You seen his? Hopefully my partner can make a putt. If he makes this thing, we move on.
Finish that one. Thought I had it.
Good try.
Anthony's sitting over there enjoying the rain, and he looks like he's totally unaffected by anything. He has to make.
Try. Good try.
And I fanned it, man. Wanted to roll it a little bit better up the hill. A little firmer. A little firmer.
And he's gonna make this again.
Yep.
That's it.
Knock it in there, buddy.
He's got this.
Nice par, buddy. Good boy.
All right, all right.
Let's go sit down for a little bit, huh?
Here, you got the mulligan, dog.
Hey, good playing, bud.
Let's do it.
Good job, you guys.
And frankly, with him going first, huge advantage for Randy. Just see the ball, see the line, see the speed. He'll play off of that for sure.
Justin and Anthony won the team competition and get to sit out the elimination challenge. But Craig and Randy are not so lucky. They will battle it out in a head-to-head competition, and the loser will be eliminated.
You know, you guys have learned about each other's games a bit. Now you're going to have a chance to select a specific competition, and I'm going to point down the fairway. There's a marker that's at about 185 yards down the middle of the fairway for an iron shot. We have a bunker that's about 114 yards. It's a fairway bunker away from this hole. We have a flop shot that's green side on the low side here. We have a long putt that you would be lagging to. And we also have a bunker shot green side. You're going to be selecting the shot that you think that you can beat Craig with, and you're also going to have the opportunity to select a shot that you think you can beat Randy with. And then we're randomly going to select one place, and you're going to have to play from that position. Okay, it's going to be closest to the hole, so each is worth 1 point. Whoever gets to 2 points, it's best 2 out of 3, wins this, the other guy goes home. Craig, what is your decision as it relates to the shot that you think you can beat Randy with on this first of 3 competitions?
I'm gonna choose the putt. I feel good. My speed control. The putt fits my eye, and that'll be my choice. Anywhere like inside of this box is, I'm assuming. Okay.
He has a over 65-foot putt, slightly up the hill. In the last 10 feet, it starts working down and to the left.
Break and go, break and go.
It's got to go. Well short, well short. Not a good putt. Frankly, it looks like Randy's, you know, sitting pretty already.
Measurement 9 feet 6 inches.
Craig is not in a good position here. And frankly, with him going first, huge advantage for Randy to see the ball, see the line, see the speed. He'll play off of that for sure. The odds are very good that Randy will get it inside that putt. If you're ever going to use a mulligan, it sure wouldn't be a bad time to use it now. Now that ball's really getting away.
Wow.
Measurement 24 feet 2 inches.
Now watch Randy. He hits it over the ridge. You got away from him? I bet he goes with a mulligan here.
I'm going to use my mulligan.
He's going with a mulligan. You know what? Good strategy, because now he's got a feel that he just basically bombed the putt. He didn't really know that that ball would get away like that. And if he's smart, he's just going to stay tuned in. This is looking pretty good here. This looks like a winner. If it stops, even with the wet conditions, that ball stops. He has just won a point. Really good strategy as he used that mulligan.
Measurement 5 feet 5 inches.
Mulligan killed me there. Gotta do it now.
You got a 1-up lead right now. It's your choice to decide where you want to go. Where do you want to go?
Flop shot.
Flop shot.
Yeah.
Underneath the hole. Craig, you need to go ahead and win this competition.
Right.
Or you're going home. You know what's tough here? Hands are cold. It's tough to feel anything right now. And he has to hit this inside or he's going home.
Shot, Craig. Thanks.
Excellent shot.
Measurement 9 feet 1 inch.
Great golf shot, you know, under the circumstances.
Out of my hands now. Done what I can.
Randy selected the shot, and you know, Craig kind of put it at him, didn't he? Put it right in his face. If he hits it inside him, he wins. Craig goes home. That actually had a chance to get really close. It hit in the fringe and stopped. He hit it too low. It almost went in the bunker.
Measurement 18 feet 7 inches.
I'm alive. I'm alive.
Guys, you pick the putt, he wins. You pick the flop, he wins. That's why now we're going random. We're at the third part of this deal, and we're gonna pick, and we're gonna tell you where you have to go, and you're playing off. Best man wins.
All right.
Okay? Let's go.
Let's go. Good luck, man.
Randy and Craig have each won a point after playing shots from 2 different areas. The third and decisive area was randomly selected. The players now hit an approach shot from 189 yards to determine who advances and who gets eliminated. The player who places his shot closer to the pin survives.
Now, we're gonna decide who goes first.
You pick first this time. Back to you. Number one.
Randy's gonna be going first. May the best man win.
All right, thank you.
Let's get started.
Good luck, guys.
Now, Randy's hit a couple fat shots the last, in the earlier competition. And part of that is when you try to knock a shot down, you get in front of it and you stick it down into the ground. And He needs just to go full bore and make a big backswing and hit it, and that's what he does best. He's blocked this well to the right, but he's trying to play a hook. Big time block, that's gonna kill him. That's the first time that we've seen him hit a bad shot.
Measurement, 133 feet, 5 inches.
Craig is in a strong crosswind for his draw. Craig is saying, hey, anything solid, I'm gonna win this contest. And Randy is going home.
Uh-oh. Oh no, it's
Here's the crosswind grabbing it. Now, good news. It's in the green side bunker, possibly. And that has just grabbed the golf ball and kept it from going down the ridge.
I don't know. We'll see.
Good job.
We'll see. I don't know.
Measurement, 64 feet.
Craig got it.
Thank you.
The shots they hit really, truly wasn't a reflection of how good of golfers they are. It was a reflection of how bad the weather was. Because I mean, it was brutal. It was absolutely brutal.
Well, I'm through again. One more. Do it again. We'll see you tomorrow.
Try to hit 5-iron. Cold, rainy. I'm frozen. My hands are like numb. I just try to give it my best shot.
You've been great with all these shows. You're fantastic. I know you've been a real leader. You're the kind of guy, if I was in a foxhole overseas and having to fight, I'd want you right next to me, because you were behind these guys all the way along, and I'll tell you, you're a heck of a player. You really impressed me, and I wouldn't put my clubs away for 1 minute if I were you.
I expected Randy to be in the final 3. From the beginning, I thought it would be me, Randy, and Justin. So, a little surprised, but when the weather's like that, anything can happen. So, you know, nothing shocks you.
He felt like it wasn't his time to go, you know, and it was a shock to me and Anthony to watch that. You know, we thought Randy was going to go all the way to the end.
He was so focused, so determined, and afterwards to see how much he wanted it when he knew he was out, that was tough to watch.
You're pretty emotional.
Yeah.
Kind of talking about that.
No.
I mean, I know what Mark lost yesterday.
You never think you'd see a guy like that who you think is just made of steel. Just, you know, kind of break down and show what's going on inside and how much he cares. But I think it's important that he cares that much, because it makes him that much of a better person.
This is the worst part. Leaving.
He's just got a huge heart. You know, he's been through a lot in his life. I mean, he's gone through a lot of adversity. It hits you. You see someone like that get that emotional.
Next time on The Big Break. It's down to 3, and the guys begin to feel that the 4 Canadian Tour exemptions are in reach.
Everybody's gone. It's us, one of us is gonna win this competition.
Law of averages, 3 of us. I'm good in rain. I'll get it together good enough to beat one of them.
A new set of challenges await, and each shot is critical.
So wind going left or right? What?
Bite. First one killed me.
That's gonna hurt. That was crazy.
Craig, Justin, and Anthony vie to become part of the final twosome.
Well, this should be interesting.
Let's do it, guys. Come on.
It all happens next time on The Big Break.
That's golf. It's just like life. Everything, you know, anything can happen on any given day. You know, you may be hitting it good on the range and then get to the hole and just hit it sideways.